Hello, welcome to my video. For this video, I'm gonna be teaching you guys, or rather, analyzing this replay on basically a late Navy fight here between me and Spoon. This is a very long fight, so this video is gonna take a lot of time. Actually, it's gonna be like a 40-minute long video. I'm not sure, but I'm here to analyze it for you guys and for myself too. I actually could learn a lot from watching myself play here. So it's an Aeon against Aeon matchup. So it's like it is a pretty good faction for Navy, and it's like it's gonna be like interesting to watch. Let's see. So first things off, as you can see, I'm not spamming frigs whatsoever because Aeon has by far the worst frigs out of all factions. They're the most expensive and the weakest ones. And I think that in the late game, when it comes to the late game stage, they do have a lot of value. But I might be wrong actually because frigs can be pretty strong when in like overwhelming numbers against battleships. But like I don't really have. I just don't know. I don't know everything about this. But for me, personally, I prefer to just make dash rolls and battleships. Aeon dash rolls are amazing against subs, so I don't really have to make subs when I can make dash rolls. Like, a tip for you guys is to never make subs against Aeon, because the Aeon dash is just gonna decimate any subs in the way. Especially Tech 2 subs. Okay, so all I'm making is battleships and dash rolls. I'm also gonna be making carriers because I know their air player is gonna be beating ours, so I'm gonna prepare some carriers. And also, because I'm the beach player against the rock player, 12 maxes against 18, I am in a position to lose. In theory, this guy should be crushing me, but let's still watch the game. We are here to learn how to micro. One small tip, spread your factories more. If anything, like just make battleships from those factories and make dashers from those factories, because sometimes you can see my battleships get stuck and they like take quite a while to move out of there. So yes, so make battleships like here, just spread your factories more, Like you saw earlier, I control a factory here and made a factory like above because one battleship was stuck. Let's not focus on my eco bar. I'm installing on purpose just because, like I said, mentioned on my previous video, if you're not really spending on anything, it's not bad to install. The only issue is that my SMD is never gonna load, but it's just I'm kind of lazy, I'm not really gonna explain about this. But don't install, don't do this. Like always make sure your SMD loads. So make sure you don't stall, That's one thing. Like that's another reason why you shouldn't actually good tip why you shouldn't overinvest in a lot of factories, especially tier 1 factories, because only 6 tech 3 factories is gonna be enough for you to afford to able to use all the mass you're producing. Like all those 6 factories is already enough for me to use all my mass, so I don't need any more factories. It's just gonna be waste of mass. I'm gonna just be stalling more. So yeah. So like as you can see, I'm spreading my navy. Always spread your navy. Don't let your battleships get stuck by frigs, and like always like make sure you do the maximum amount of damage. Without taking damage, you're just taking minimum amount of damage. And you can see how he made like Aeon subs, and I have dashers, and you can see like if I'm macroing my navy here, I'm using my battleships to ground fire the subs. And the reason why I shift G my frigs here is because Aeon frigs actually have very nice turret defense. So if I shift G all my navy into one place, they're gonna have like an unbreakable turret defense wall, and the subs are gonna take more time to kill my navy. And you can see I let my Aeon battleships take free damage because it's not like you can see I'm killing his subs, and like the subs are not really dealing a lot of damage to my battleships. And you can see like I'm already got a very nice trade here. Like I killed a lot of subs and he just killed nothing. And as you can see, like I said earlier, I'm getting Torpegaden, and I should have made carriers early. You can see I'm already making one. And I'm gonna lose some of my navy here, but that's no issue. Yeah. Okay, another tip. This move here. So what like when you're preparing to engage a navy fight, a big one, you're gonna know there's gonna be a lot of reclaim field there. So I'm already preparing build power and engineers in order to grab the reclaim field before I lose that position, or like I'm preparing to grab the reclaim before the enemy does it. So the mess becomes all mine. And the reason why I make factories back in here and not here, because if I make the factories here, there's a chance I might like block my navy, and it's gonna be inconvenient for my navy to move around. Like it's gonna be hard to maneuver my navy around with the factories in the way. It's gonna mess up with the pathfinding, so I always make sure I make factories like far away from my navy, like preferably like in the edges, or you can just drop some support commanders, because you know they are underwater, they're not gonna do anything to harm your navy's movement. And yeah, you can see I'm just making dashes, battleships and carriers. Good tip here is to make mobile shields, but I'm gonna explain this later, not now. I'm just gonna say that mobile shields are pretty good. They're very cost efficient, and they have so much HP and they can block a lot of damage. The problem is they require a lot of micro. It's pretty hard to use them. And if you don't know what you're doing, all you're doing is wasting mass and energy. And mobile shields can also block your navy, you know. People also tend to suicide their mobile shields because they tend to overextend their mobile shields to the front lines and they just die to frigs. So yeah, like mobile shields are pretty complicated to use. I tried to send my battleship to like apply pressure to the middle base, but I don't realize that there are tech 2 arties there. I didn't see those, and my battleship take a lot of damage, and it's about to get torped. And I'm just gonna lose a free battleship here. And you only killed 3k mass, so it's not a good trade for me. Let's take a look at the KD radio here. We're gonna focus on the KD radio here, nothing else. And you can still lose a battleship there, unfortunately. But like I would have carriers here, you know. Well, like you can see I'm losing some frigs, but as I said, frigs are useless. I'm just making dashes. No problem losing like the aim frigs. I would have Aeon dashes to counter the subs. Yeah. Alright, let's speed it up a little bit. My battleship's taking damage from the gunships. Alright, I have 7 battleships. SupCom has 8 battleships, but you can see the guys trash talking him for making subs against Aeon. Because, yeah, like I said, you don't make subs against Aeon. Aeon dashes have the best torp defense and torp DPS. So, yeah. So, as you can see, my navy is always spread out. You want to make sure your battleships are spread out. This is the main tip I give to everyone. You spread your battleships, make a concave, give them a nice formation so they can all shoot and they can all dodge. But if all battleships are like isolated, separated from each other, they have more room to dodge shots, and like, you know, it's just a better formation overall. It's harder to deal against like spread out battleships. You can see like I know that I have more battleships here. Like the way I play this is I regroup my navy, I go to the sides here, and then I'm gonna have a formation where I have a line of 5 battleships in range of 1 battleship, and I'm gonna have 5 battleships against 1 battleship because his other battleships are gonna be in the back lines, and they're gonna be like useless because they're not gonna be in range of my battleships and they're not gonna be shooting. That's ideally what you want to aim for. You want all your battleships to be in range of the enemy's battleship. You don't want your battleships to be behind here because the battleships, if they're not in range, they're just not doing anything. You can see how I have like all my battleships together killing this battleship. You can see they're kind of spread out. They're supposed to be more spread out. I didn't play perfectly this game. I made a lot of mistakes. You can see my navy, my frigs are already blocking my battleships. You don't want really this to happen. Ideally, your frig should be here, or your frig should be like back here, or more in the front, but not like together with your battleships. But you can see like how I have all my 6 battleships in range of his battleship here. And like you can see, he has a lot of battleships outside range. So even though we have the same amount of battleships, I assume more of my battleships are in range. So I'm using more of my DPS, and therefore I'm gonna take better trade and I'm gonna keep more of the battleships. And another thing, if your battleship is just like taking damage from like a lot of battleships, just turn around and retreat. You cannot afford to like lose battleships. This is a huge another thing about not spreading your battleships. When you have your battleships clumped up like this, let's say you have two battleships in both at the same place, they take EOE damage from the enemy battleships, and like you take double the amount of damage that you're supposed to. Instead of losing 2k HP, I'm losing 4k HP. So like this is very bad. You don't ever want this to happen. Spread your battleships. Don't do this. Like you can see I'm already doing move orders to separate the battleships, but you can see it's late. And you can see like my battleship's taking a lot of damage, and that's what I'm talking about. Mobile shields and frigs blocking your battleships. That's why like those frigs are not supposed to be here. Like I'm using my frigs to attack, but no, I'm using my mobile shields forward, retreating my battleship and kind of trying to dodge the shots while the other battleships shoot. And you can see like I successfully managed to save this one. And you can see one thing people tend to do is they manually target one battleship, right? This is a huge, major mistake that you gotta focus on fixing in your future games. When you manually target a battleship and the battleship is retreating, your battleship is gonna pursue the battleship, is gonna follow the battleship, and all your battleships are gonna break their formation, and they're gonna make a straight line trying to focus on this battleship, and that's very, very bad. You don't want that to happen. What's gonna happen is your battleship is gonna clump up, it's gonna get in range of my navy, and if you don't pay attention fast enough, you're gonna be losing a lot of your battleships, taking a lot of damage, and like you could take a lot of bad trades, as you can see here. And like as you can see here, like my battleships have a nice concave. My battleships together here very bad, but you can see like all my battleships is focusing one by one, which is where you want to happen. Not necessarily, but I'm gonna explain about this later. Yeah. And you can see now he changes the target of my battleship and targets this one. And you can see I insta move my battleship away. The moment I see my battleship taking shots, I retreat right away. It doesn't matter how much HP he has. I retreated right away. You can see I have 10 battleships. He has, let's see how much he has. He has 8. I have way more. So like I'm taking perfect engagements here. Okay, I get one battleship here. So I killed 2 battleships actually. You can see how I killed 2 battleships and I lost 0. That's just because I saved my battleships from dying by retreating, and that's what you should do in fights like this. You want to spread your battleships. But you can see I'm getting torped, and I lost my figs, and he has a lot of figs. But you can see his figs are not doing a lot of damage. He's not really pushing. What he should be doing is he should be pushing, but those aim figs, because they're so weak and so expensive, it's not really. They're not really being cost effective here. They're just being a bother. And you can see I'm just taking very nice trades here, and I'm about to kill this one. Yeah, I killed 3 battleships. I lost one. Unfortunately, I didn't retreat this one. Ideally, you want to retreat all the low HP battleships. But you can see the formation how I have nice concave. All my battleships are in range of this one. As for him, you can see like a lot of his battleships are not really in range of anything. Like this battleship is not in range. This battleship is still in the back. This battleship is not in range. He only has essentially only 4 battleships shooting, and I have like 10 battleships. So it's even though he has like 8 battleships against 10. In reality, he only has 4 battleships against 10 because only 4 are actually engaging. The others are inactive in the back. And that's how you take great fights here. You make a nice concave, you spread your battleships, make sure they're all in range, and just micro the shots, dodge the shots. You can see how I have a lot of engineers coming in. But here's a problem arrives is the middle player is making frigs, and the player is, raiding my engineers, preventing me from grabbing this refield, and that's why I started making frig factories in the middle. I gotta take a pee, BRB. Escape all of this, by the way. Okay, I'm back. Anyways, I was saying earlier, spreading my battleship. You can see now I'm spreading my battleships way better. This is ideally how your battleship should be, very spread out, so they have room to dodge, they have room to fall back, and you don't have units blocking your battleships. And you can see how I have like all my battleships in range of his battleship here, and his battleships are all comped up. Like my formation is way better. And you can see how I'm, just taking battle trades overall here. I don't know how many I lost, but I think I lost only one, and he lost 4 battleships. So I only killed 4 battleships. Here you can see like the low HPs. When I have a battleship on very low HP close to dying, I send the mobile shield to them. Like I focus on saving the ones on low HP. I send them back, and I have the other ones pushing. Yeah, let's keep going on. I have carriers. I have made 4 carriers. I'm making a lot of carriers because I'm sure I'm gonna get Torpegaden soon. And yeah, I have like 13 battleships, and he has 10. He lost his 5th battleship. I'm gonna lose this. No, I should lose this, but you can see I'm already retreating right away, and the others are shooting. And you can see my formation. You can secure that battleship as well. But like once again, you can see how once again they're all clumped up together. That's a mistake. The reason why they keep clumping up together is because you shouldn't really be manually focusing battleships. You should be placing moves one by one. Here, like this battleship should go here. This battleship should go here. This battleship should go here. This battleship should, and so on. But what I'm instead doing is I'm being lazy. I'm not microing my battleships. I'm just manually targeting his battleships. And that's one reason why, even though manually targeting battleships can be good because you're using all DPS to kill one battleship, it can sometimes backfire because it comes with a it leads to this, to like bad formation that you don't want to happen. I'm probably gonna lose this battleship, and as you can see, because I have my navy blocking this battleship, I cannot retreat, and this battleship is dead, and that's probably my 2nd battleship lost. And yeah, as you can, like, I make a big mistake here. I'm not sure it's a mistake, but I charge all went forward because I see I have way more battleship than he does. I have way more and he has less, so I just charge in, so I don't give him time to fall back. But for some reason, this push didn't work for me. I ended up losing a lot of battleships. One reason is because, well, as you can see, most of the battleships are like nearly full HP, and my battleships a lot of them are low HP. So like it gives the illusion that I have a lot of battleships, but in reality, if you think about it, he has 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 4, 5, 8, 9 battleships. I have 12 battleships, but the thing is, 4 of my battleships are pretty much dead. One shot is gonna kill 4 battleships. So if you subtract 4 battleships, I only have actually 8 battleships, and 8 is less than 9. So this push actually fails because I end up losing a lot of battleships, and I end up killing none. You can see I insta lose like 3 battleships at once, and like that was just a very greedy move by me. That was not a good move by me. I should have never pushed like this. Big mistake here. But you can see how his navy is still clumped up and still taking the better fights here. I'm gonna kill this one. And like you can see, once again, my navy is clumped up. You don't want this to ever happen to you. You wanna keep your battleships way more spread out. This battleship should be here. This battleship should be here. This battleship should be here. You always wanna spread out your navy, ideally. Same goes, mobile shields are kinda complicated. Actually, you wanna have way more than 14 mobile shields. You wanna have like 60 mobile shields. You can see I have a lot of power. I can make even more power. I have a lot of mass as well. I'm deciding to grab a lot of the reclaim. So like I should be making more mobile shields. I should be increasing my build power. I'm not using a lot of all of my build power here. I should like be making like 5 tech free engineers here, and be making more tech free factories to make more dash rolls, or just increase my battleship production. Dashers are always nice to have, especially if you're Aeon. Aeon Dashers are pretty good against battleships. They do a lot of damage. You can easily dodge battleship shots, and they're pretty annoying to deal against. So yeah. And you can see by the KD radio how my KD radio is way better, like 1.70. His KD radio is 0.50. So I can, I'm just taking battle fights here. But like I made a huge blunder here, lost a lot of battleships. And you can see now he's doing the right move here. You can see he's spreading his battleships. His battleships are way more spread out. Also, one key important thing here that he's doing it. When you have more battleships, less. If you have less battleships, regroup. Don't be stubborn. Don't go and try to fight more battleships. You're not gonna win. You're just gonna be losing more battleships. So you want to make sure you solidify your position by regrouping your battleships, make like a battle formation, a concave formation, and then when you see that you have the opportunity to attack, when you feel like you have more battleships than your enemy, then you can attack back. But like what he's doing is the right thing. He has less than me, so he's retreating. You shouldn't be like charging in one by one. It's just gonna lead to bad fights for you. You're gonna take bad trades, and you're just gonna be losing more battleships. You can see his teammate is telling him to retreat. That's the right move. I see that he's falling back, so I try to attack. And as you can see, I started to spread my battleships. I should be. If I'm not doing it, I'm making a huge mistake. Yeah, you can see I'm kind of trying to group. But another mistake here, not really a mistake, I'm not gonna talk about this. It includes being Cybern, but I'm not gonna talk about this. Not in this video. Yeah. And as you can see, like, big mistake, this is what I've said about earlier. How I'm manually focusing on a Navy unit that's retreating and my battleships going in a straight line. They break formation, and now, look. He has like 4 battleships. I cannot even see those units. They are probably battleships. Yeah, you can see those are battleships. He has 3 battleships in range of this one, and I'm gonna lose this battleship for free just because I charged forward without looking, paying attention. And I tried to retreat. I sent my mobile shoots back. And I may save this one. Oh, I'm actually gonna save this one. Yeah, I sent my mobile shoot forward, and I retreat with this one. Yeah, but you can see. A huge mistake here is that I lost a lot of battleships. I don't have 8 battleships. I don't have a lot of evasion. Okay, so let's talk. I'm gonna talk about this right now. When you're the Navy player, always make a tech-free air factory, because T1 scouts they can kind of work, but they're not really effective to scout Navy like properly. Because T1 scouts, not only they die easily, but their field of range is very small. They cannot really see, like they don't really give you a lot of information that you want. Like, I don't know that those are battleships. It gives me the impression that he has only 4, but in reality he has more battleships, and that makes me think that I can push in and charge in, but in reality he has way more battleships, and as a result I'm gonna be taking a bad fight here, because his formation is good here. It's a nice line formation here, and my battleships are very clumped up. They're not really good. Like, this battleship is not really in range. This battleship is also not in range. They should be in a line, like very spread out here, but no, that's not the case here, and I end up losing a lot of battleships here. And that was a very bad play by me. My mistake was pushing in without looking, not spreading my battleships, and not scouting. I'm only on Tech 2 Air HQ. I should have made a Tech 3 Air HQ. So that was a big mistake by me. And you can see, like, I tried to retreat, but it's too late. I lose 2 battleships here. And you can see I'm taking a very terrible fight here. You can see he has more battleships than me now. It's like 9 battleships against only 6. I should be retreating right now. I have 2 battleships nearly dying, and I'm gonna lose this one. You can see, like, this is a major mistake here by me. Like, I had the advantage, but now he has the upper hand, and now, like, I just threw all of this, and now he's gonna push me back. And now you can see I have 6 battleships and he has 9 battleships. You can see my KD is starting to decay. It's 1.939. His KD is 0.70. In total, I probably killed more battleships, but this was a huge mistake. And now you can see he's gonna be grabbing all of this reclaim because he's gonna be holding this position, and I can no longer hold this position. This is one of the things, one of the key factors. Like losing a major navy fight can cost you the game because when you lose the fight, you lose the position, and if that position contains a lot of mass, if you're not able to contain the position, the enemy is gonna grab all of this. You're not gonna be grabbing any of this, and as a result, you're gonna be falling way behind in terms of mass, and he's gonna be making way more navy than you. You're gonna be making way less, and he's gonna just have an overwhelming amount of battleships, and you're not gonna have enough. So you can see once again like his battleship nice formation here. Not the best, could be better, but it's good. You can see he has a nice concave. All his battleships in range on this one. A lot of my battleships are not really in range. You can see this battleship is not in range. This battleship is in range, but it's not really doing much. And this battleship is just gonna insta-melt and just die on the spot. I tried to retreat, as you can see, the move order. I tried to move my bubble shields, but it's not enough. Not enough time to save it. Maybe I can save it. Nah. Oh, I did save it. But, still, it's very bad. Now you can see I have to forfeit this position here. I have to give in to him. I have no choice. My engines are all gonna die. Another mistake here. Check my mass bar, like I said earlier. Because I'm focusing on microing my navy, I'm not focusing on expanding my production. And as a result, all the mass that I'm grabbing here, I'm not using it. I shouldn't be overflowing this much mass. 22k is the cost of like 4 battleships. So like, I try to increase my production, but it's not fast enough. That's why I should have more build power, more tech for engineers. So like I should have made it like maybe some more factories here. I should have made more mobile shields. And I should have made more factories overall, And now is the time to increase my production because I can afford it because of the amount of reclaim that I got, but not really using it. So you can see now I have 10 battleships. He probably has a lot more. He has 14. He's the rock player. Now he's about to grab the auto reclaim. He has boys, and the boys, West commanders can just easily scoop the battleship wrecks because they're commanders and they have way more brute power than T1 engineer. And then because they are submerged, they're not really gonna die to sub battleships. The only thing that can kill the commanders are subs, but because I'm not really making subs, and my subs are just gonna die to air torps, I really have no way of killing his rest ACUs. So I'm in a very bad position here. Like I tried to grab the reclaim, but like I said, I lost all of the reclaim. I lost this position, and now because he gets the whole reclaim field, he gets all the battleships that I lost. He's just gonna have endless amount of mass and just not gonna have anything at my hands. And as for now, I'm in a terrible position. I'm bound to lose this game. Like I'm gonna eventually lose because he has all the mass. I'm not using my mass. And you can see I've tried to consolidate my position. I tried to regroup. I make a better formation. And now, like in a few moments, like I think now, I take a different approach here. I try harder is basically. So earlier when you saw I was manually targeting the battleships one by one while clumping up my battleships. Now I'm gonna take a different approach, which is the better approach that you should take. It's the harder one, but what I do is, instead of manually targeting battleships, what I do is I spread all my battleships and I mark them one by one. I don't manually target the battleships, I just move around. And then you ask, how are you gonna target the battleships? Easy. By using the UI mod, Advanced Target Priorities. I have all my battleships on battleship priority. Let's see. Can I go to... Oh, I cannot see, but anyways, because my battleship is on battleship priority, I don't have to manually target the battleship. It's already gonna target the battleship without trying to issue an attack move order. So what I do is, I move around, I micro my battleships constantly, trying to dodge as much shots as I can, while trying to kill the battleships. So I kill the battleships while I dodge shots. You can see how I'm not manually targeting anymore. You can see how I'm just moving in circles. Every single battleship is just moving in circles. You can see every single battleship has a move order around them. You can see. So I just move in circles, and you can see I've tried to. You can see my movement formation is way better now. Like I said earlier, they're way more spread out. They have room to dodge shots. They have room to retreat. There's not a lot of Navy blocking them. My formation is better overall. And I take battle fights now. You can but I lost one here, but I'm gonna be killing a lot of battleships now. Like he lost one here, he's gonna lose another here. You can see my battleships is constantly dodging, and you can see his formation is now starting to break. It's starting to charge in forward. His formation is sloppy. It's not good anymore. You can see his battleships are in front, not retreating. Now he's gonna lose this battleships. He's gonna be losing a lot of battleships. Like he lost one here. And you can see it's already 2 for 1. And you can see I'm just keep constantly dodging my battleships. And you can see because he's not really moving his battleships, he's taking a lot of damage, and you know I'm gonna be taking better fights here. This battleship's about to die. Yeah, like you can see, these battleships die, so 3 battleships. I start taking better fights here. But the issue is, I can never come back from this. Because it's no matter how many battleships I kill, no matter how much production I increase, because he has so much mass, so much production. Regardless of what happens here, he's always gonna have more battleships than me. He's gonna have so much mass, and he's just, no. He's just gonna beat me eventually. He's making Tempests. I'm gonna talk about Tempests later. Tempests are, you know, I'm gonna talk about it later. But as you can see, like, once I started taking the try-hard approach of microing my battleships one by one, you can see I take way better fights. And even despite having, I guess, less, I don't know who had more. But I think it was somewhat the same amount. I took way better fights here. Just because I started microing my battleships instead of manually targeting his battleships. You can see I just keep microing my battleships one by one. I don't clump my battleships together. I try to avoid that as much as possible. And you can see I try to just, you know, spread my battleships as much as I can. You can see it has a nice line here. You can see like most of my battleships are in range. Those are not in range, so that's why they go forward. You can see, since the time I was, you know, like 2 minutes ago, I just lost one battleship. He lost like 4 or 5 battleships, as you can see. You see, he lost another one. You just can see how much more effective this way of microing is compared to the lazy way of microing that I was doing. You can see, still, I have like 15 battleships. I'm not losing battleships and producing more battleships. As for him, he's not killing any of my battleships, and he's losing more battleships. And you know, he starts to lose battleships, and now I'm in the better position now. I have the upper hand, I have more battleships, and now I start to charge forward. And let's search. Okay, now he regrouped. Now his formation is better. But he has more less than me now, and now I start to once again push back. Oh. And I start to spread them even more. And you can see like how my battleships are isolated. They're not like, you know, together with other units. And you can see like so far I only lost 1 battleship. I'm not 1 battlecruiser down. Yeah. Let's speed it up a bit. Oh, it's -3, never mind. Oh, because of the air fight. Yeah, it's gonna take a while. But yeah, you can see how good it is, like how dodging works a lot. Like why you should always dodge. You save you save yourself from taking a lot of damage just by dodging a lot of the enemy battleship shots. You can see that was 3k damage right there. Because I dodged the shots, like it was, you know, it was 3k damage for like it dealt actually 0k damage. That was a very bad explanation, you know. And like as you can see here, like I have 4 battleships in range of this one, and now like I'm gonna undeniably I'm gonna kill this battleship without losing a single one. It's -8 because of this bug here. I don't know why this happens, guys, but you know, that's gonna take a while. Let's see how many he has. 11 battleships in the Tempest. I have 16 battleships. I have way more battleships here. But like you see, I don't get greedy. First of all, I'm not really scouting enough, so I don't really know. As I said, I don't really know how much shit he has. I don't know if those gray dots are battleships or tempests or whatever. So I'm kind of not. I know I'm kind of free to push. I don't really want to be greedy like the last time I pushed. I want to like play it safe. I don't want to break my formation. I just want to slowly just kill his navy without like risking anything. You can see now my battleships are spread out nicely. You can see each battleship has a move order. And now you can see my KD radio is now like 1.56. It was 1.40 earlier, so it increased by a lot. And yeah. Okay, now we're gonna lose the air fight here. Yeah, we lost the air fight here by a lot. Now the game is starting to pick up the pace again. $17 battleships. 14 and 2 tempests. You can see just how much mass he's getting, how much navy he's making. Like he has 14 battleships and 2 tempests. You can see he's already catching up to me in navy. He has 173k in mass in navy. I have 195k, but that's because of the carriers. If I exclude the carriers and just select the battleship industrials, I have 173. Despite killing so many battleships and only losing one, you can see he already catched up in numbers. Like the numbers are already equal. He has 2 tempests and 4 battleships. That's just because of how much production he has compared to me. I have way less production. Like let's count the amount of engineers. He has 300 engineers and 17 tech-free engineers. I have 81 T1 engineers and 49 tech-2 engineers. I don't have I'm not even nowhere close to his build power. And because he has the extra maxes and the reclaim, he's gonna be able to afford much more navy than I. Yeah. And yeah, you can see. But you can see I'm still taking good trades and I still lost. Now I'm about to lose my second battleship. Yeah. Because I'm kind of overextending here. Like, if your battleship is like a low on HP, don't risk it. Like, you shouldn't be like engaging. You have to make sure it's on in the back lines, And now, as I was gonna talk about, I'm gonna bring this topic now. The Tempest is the game-winning move here. Tempests are so good against battleships with low range, because you have such a large area of you have so much space for Tempest that no matter I explained about this in one of my earlier videos. The Tempest can just easily kite my battleships, and the Tempests are gonna do so much damage to my battleships, and my battleships are not really gonna be able to do anything because they cannot get in range with the Tempests. And if the Tempest takes damage, he can just submerge and go back. And this Tempest is gonna kill so many of my battleships, as you're gonna see soon. And because I cannot really get in range of him, because if I try to push in, I'm gonna be in a very risky position. I'm gonna be risking all my battleships by pushing in, because I don't know if he has a lot of battleships here. If I push in right now, there's a chance that all my battleships are gonna get in range of his battleships, and I'm gonna be losing a lot of my battleships in the process. So that's why I don't really want to get in range. Maybe it's fine to push in now because I have a lot of battleships, but because I don't really know how much he has. He has a lot of mobile shields and support from his teammates, like mobile shields from the air player, and some shield boats here, as you can see. They're pretty good units, and yeah. You can see even though my battleships are very nicely spread out, they're taking a lot of damage from the Tempest. And we can see it's looking very good. You see how nicely spread out they are. You can see how all my battleships are in range. This one is low HP, so it's going back. And you can see this is a very bad move. It's like I said earlier, those battleships were targeting this one, but because this one went back, you can see he overextended his battleship. He broke the formation, And now all of those 4 battleships are exposed to my whole army of battleships. It's 15 against 3 battleships, and you can instantly kill those battleships. That's why you gotta always put you gotta pay attention to your navy, always. You cannot take your eyes off your navy 1 second. Like, I'm not focusing here, I'm not focusing here, I'm not focusing anywhere. I'm just focusing all my eyes on my navy. And now you can see he tries to retreat, which is a nice move. No overextend. And you can see I start to lose some battleships because, you know, my battleships are low HP, and you can't just dodge endlessly. Like, eventually you're gonna be losing your battleships one day. They're gonna be dying eventually. You cannot really save your battleships like permanently. Here you can see the Tempests are doing so much damage here. And like you can see, once he gets in range, he falls back. He goes back and kites my battleship. Like, that's a very nice move by him, very nice micro by him. You can see the mobile shields are actually helping so much. Like I said earlier, I should have made a lot of mobile shields. Like, this is a lot of mobile shield, and it's not enough. We should actually make way more. You can see, like, I don't have enough mobile shields. I only have 4. A lot of them died, and I just have one Tech 2 HQ. I should have made like 5 HQs here. I mean, 5 support factories. You can see how I'm overflowing 12k mass. With 12k mass, you can afford like 200 mobile shields. You can afford so many mobile shields, and they are so cost effective. So that was a mistake by me to not make enough of them. And you can see he has 2 Tempests now, and the Tempests are doing so much damage. And like, he already had 14 battleships, 2 Tempests. I have 17 battleships. Like, I'm losing a lot of battleships here. A lot of my battleships are, you know, low HP. And like, my fresh battleships are like in the back here. Like, I'm trying to hold this position because I don't want to lose this reclaim. Like, ideally, I want to retreat and regroup because I don't really want to lose this position because I cannot afford to lose this reclaim field. That's why I'm kind of trying to maintain this position without retreating, you know. But like, as you can see, I'm losing a lot of my battleships as a consequence. And you can see, once again, big mistake here. I clumped my battleships together. They're not spread out anymore. I think I saw an opportunity to push, because I can see, I only see 4 battleships in range. Those battleships are outside range. And I don't see the Tempest. I see he has 1, but I don't know he has 2. That's why, like, vision can be very crucial here. You need to gather a lot of information, as much information as you can. And I should have made a Tech 3 HQ to make Tech 3 scouts to be able to scout this. You can see, despite making T1 scouts, they are not really doing much because they are T1 scouts. They are very weak. And you can see now they're not really they don't have a nice formation. Now they're in straight line here. A lot of battleships are not in range. I mean, I guess those are, but you know, they're not in range of the Tempest, for example. You can see, like, I take nice trades here, sure. But the Tempests are gonna do so much damage to my battleships. You can see how the battleships are Tempests are constantly doing a lot of damage to me, and I'm just losing my battleships slowly. You can see now this is where everything's disrupted. Everything's just all goes down the drill here. Like, my formation is just ruined. Like, you can see I'm starting to lose a lot of battleships here. And like, you know, this was a very bad move here. I managed to kill like 3 battleships, but I lost like 5 in the process. You can see, like, I'm losing so many battleships to Tempest. You can see those battleships are low HP. And you can see I'm losing this. I'm taking very, very bad fights here. You can see I don't really have information. You can see I don't have vision here. Like, I need scouts, but I don't have anything. I don't know what he has there. And you can see, like, I mean, I guess I can see, but I don't know if, you know, he has like stealth. I don't know that he has a second Tempest. You can see how the Tempest already have 14k mass killed. 14k mass killed is like 2 battleships. I mean, I guess it's like, no, a lot of mass killed. Yeah, that's for sure. You can see, like, this is a disaster. You can see, like, in action, the mobile shields, how much they soak damage and protect incoming shots from enemy shots. You can see how good they are. And like, you can see how I lost a lot of my, I have like no mobile shields at all. Those mobile shields are AFK. and they don't have the shield HP is done, so I have nothing protecting my battleships anymore, and now my battleships are all vulnerable. I'm just taking damage for free here. I'm losing so many battleships. And you can see what I should be doing here. I should be retreating, but instead I keep insisting on attacking. Very bad mistake here. I'm never gonna hold this position. I'm gonna lose this position. Like, it's inevitable that I'm gonna lose this, but I keep insisting on holding this, and this is not good. What I'm doing is, all this mass field is gonna go to my enemy, and all I'm doing is increasing the mass field for my enemy. What I should do is, if my navy dies here instead, at least I'm gonna have this position and can reclaim my own navy. But if my navy dies here, what is gonna happen is I'm gonna be forced to retreat here, and I'm not gonna be able to reclaim my own navy. So what I should be doing is I should be retreating here. I should be consolidating my position, group up enough battleships. I only have 8 here. That's not enough. I should regroup here. I should have like 16 battleships, an army of 16. Should make a nice concave formation and then attack. I shouldn't be doing this. Big mistake here. This formation is way better. You can see he has a nice line. He has 2 Tempests. And I can try to keep constantly microing. But that's a big mistake here. I'm never going to hold this position. I just have to give up this position to my guy. And like that was like a huge mistake by me. You can see I have 12 battleships, but 5 of my battleships are like, in the back here doing nothing. They're like, they have to... The reinforcements have to join up the old army, but, it's taking... It's not enough time. You can see I have kind of nice formation, but because the Tempest is like, he has so much range, it's doing so much free damage to me. That's why Tempests are so good. There's nothing I can do against those Tempests, and those Tempests are just doing so much damage for free against my battleships. That's just how efficient they are. Like, 1 Tempest here is worth like 6 battleships here, honestly. And now here comes the Torpegatum. Like, he has like 40, 50 Solaces. Man, that's a lot of Solaces. Man, you have no idea. This amount of tech-free torps is enough to pass 3 battleships at once, I think. Maybe 2 battleships, and that's a lot of damage. And because I see the torps, as you can see from my reaction, I am forced to go back and I'm forced to charge my carriers forward. You don't want to have your carriers forward because once again they're gonna block the pathfinding. They're gonna block my battleships from maneuvering, and they're gonna also be taking the damage from the enemy battleship shots. And I'm also gonna be losing my carriers in the process as well. And I'm in a terrible position here. I'm getting torped and I'm getting pushed back. I'm just gonna lose a lot of my navy. And like you can see, I have 11 battleships. I used to have like a 17. You can see my kitty radio is once again decaying. And slowly but surely, I'm losing my position. I have no mass racks left. Remember when I just talked about losing? I have no mass whatsoever. And look at my mass bar. I'm stalling 200 mass. Why? Because I cannot afford this anymore. Remember those factories that I talked about earlier? I made those finally, and I increased my production, but I cannot afford them anymore because I don't have the mass reclaim field. And now I have to pause those factories. I'm not pausing them because I have some reclaim from the airfight left, so I can kind of afford this this mass reclaim field here, and yeah. Sorry for the laugh there, guys. Something happened. And yeah, you see. And now it's all downhill from here. There's no chance of coming back here. I'm gonna lose navy. I'm gonna lose this position. There's nothing I can do. I'm down to 9 battleships. My enemy has 16 battleships, 3 Tempests. See how much more navy he has. Look at the amount of reclaim he has, 147k. I have 150, but that's from the airfight and from the early mass field. But now he has the mass field, and he's gonna have more reclaim than me. He's gonna surpass my mass reclaim, and he's gonna just crush me, eventually. No, like he's denying
the middle guys denying me from making engineers. I cannot reclaim. Now I'm getting math gifted from the air player. But even getting math from the air player, I'm still not gonna be able to hold on here. And like I try my best to hold my position. I retreat. You can see I'm trying to regroup. I'm not trying to engage. I'm never gonna win my engagement. I try to go back as much as I can, but you can see I'm running out of space. I don't have a lot of space as I used to. Like earlier in the fights, I had all of the space for me, but now I only have this. By having less space, that means I have less space to spread my battleships. I have less space to micro, and my navy units are gonna be more dense. They're gonna be like way more dense. The more dense your navy is, the harder it is to maneuver your navy, because the navy units are gonna be blocking each other, and you can see like my carriers, they have to be in the front lines to defend against sword, but then they die to battleships. So like I'm just fucked here. You can see all of my carriers. I used to have like 7. I only have 5. But you can see the amount of mass that my carriers have. Like, look at the amount of mass killed my carriers have. Those are all from torps. But by making carriers, it already puts me in disadvantageous position, because if I'm making carriers, that means less battleships, because those carriers could have been battleships, but they're carriers, so you know. And by making carriers, I'm just gonna have less battleships naturally, you know. And like I try my best to, you know, once again, dodge, but because I have no space anymore, you can see now, like I cannot spread any further than this, and I'm forced to be, like you know, in this tight space here, and I don't have a lot of room to do anything. And you can see, because he has such an overwhelming amount of battleships, he's just gonna overwhelm me. Like you can see his micro is sloppy. He's not really moving. He's just manually targeting my navy, like I told you earlier. But because he has so much, he doesn't have to worry about losing navy. He's just gonna win regardless of what happens. And like you can see the Tempest, 40k mass killed. 40k mass killed is like 5 battleships, and they're gonna be killing even more in the future. They're gonna be killing endless amount of navy. And look, all the Tempests are full HP. I didn't get in range of the Tempest, not even once. I had no chance to get in range of them. And now you can see, like, I'm trying my best to hold on. And you can see I'm getting navy mass gifted from the air player, but still, I just, you know, I don't have no build for it. And I'm just slowly losing here. Like I can see, like my battleships are come up because they cannot regroup anymore. Now just slowly but surely lose my whole base here. And I'm gonna lose this fight here. 9 battleships, 16 destroyers. Like the destroyers are doing a great job here. But you know, just this overwhelming about it. It's just too much. Now you can see the amount of reclaim he has, 165, and he's gonna get way more. You can see that's 100k mass in the field, and he's gonna get all of it, and I just cannot get any of it. I'm trying my best to grab the mass field, but it's not gonna be enough. 18 battleships, 4 Tempests. Like at this point, he can already stop making navy. He doesn't need any more than this. Tip for you guys: if you have a huge overwhelming amount of navy, and you're like gonna win the navy no matter what happens, you don't have to make more. What you should do instead is you have to prepare for the game ender. You have to like prepare to make more power and make nuke subs, or like make a game ender, a paragon, or start to make beach invasion. Don't invest more in navy, because you don't need the navy. Or you can, you know, make you can make missile ships, because missile ships are pretty good to kill bases. Battleships are not. Alien battleships are not good to kill bases, but missile ships are. You can just make missile ships, but you don't need to make more battleships any longer. You don't have any use for those, because you already have enough to defeat me. Yeah. Guys, I try to zoom in less. Tell me if it's fine. Like I'm not zooming a lot like I used to. I'm trying my best, you know. It's kind of difficult to control because I'm used to zooming in and out a lot. I see you guys have been complaining about it, and I understand how you feel, but you know. And look, you see my formation is terrible. I just cannot do anything here. I have no vision anymore. My sonar died. I don't think we have an Omni, and I'm not making Tech 3 scouts.
So I have no clue, I have no information of what he has, I cannot see his templates, I cannot see anything. I just can see the battleships in the front lines, but no, that's just not enough information for me. And now, like, I'm just gonna be losing here. And yeah, guys, like, I'm gonna stop the video here. There's nothing else for me to comment. I think I gave a nice analysis here for you guys and for myself. I have to pee real hard again, and I'm gonna end the game video here. Sorry for, it's gonna be a long video, I think, but thank you for watching, guys. Hopefully you learned a lot from this. This Navy is a lot more complicated than this. This was just Aeon against Aeon, but when it comes to other factions, it completely changes the way you play the Navy game. When you play another faction, it's completely different. Like, the approach you take is completely different. I don't know how to put it into words, but you know what I mean. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching, and see you later.